So I would like to welcome next one of the most elegantly dressed comedians that we've ever had on this show. Please welcome James.
Thank you very much. Wow, show business! I'm in show business! Yay! My mother encouraged me to go into show business. At least that's my interpretation. When I was a little boy, she said, "Jim, you have a face that is custom made for radio." Thanks a lot, Mom. But yeah, I live in Berlin, I perform there, and they usually put me on in the first half of the show in Berlin, presumably because at my age, they're afraid that I might die before the second half rolls around. And then that would just completely screw up the schedule, you know. And in Germany, God forbid you screw up the schedule. Somebody have to call the Alles in Ordnungsamt and, oh my God, send somebody over. The schedule's messed up. I used to live in Thailand. That has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about here tonight, but it may help to explain why I'm dressed like a plantation owner. Well, my father always said, dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. A little aspirational humor there. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things in the news. I saw something in the news recently. It was a little disturbing. It's a report in the United States. The police department in some town sent a SWAT team into a guy's house at 3 o'clock in the morning. Burst through the door, helicopters swirling overhead, sirens, lights, everything, and they arrested him for having an overdue library book. And I thought, I'm not entirely sure I believe that report because, let's be honest, I mean, Americans do not read books. Anyways, let's talk about trees for a minute. Apples come from apple trees, pears come from pear trees, but there's other kinds of trees that we don't think about quite so often. Now, bear with me on this. So, for example, the poet tree. Poets come from the poetry, toilets come from the toilet tree, harlots come from the harlot tree. I should plant one of those on my balcony. If you need a new pair of pants, pants come from the pantry. But most important of all, Donald Trump comes from the country. I told you it'd be worth it. Now here's the thing, whether you like that joke or not, or thought it was funny, I can guarantee you of one thing. Absolutely, after tonight, you will never again, as long as you live, be able to hear the word country without thinking of that joke. So the next time somebody comes up to you and says the United States of America is the greatest country in the world, you can agree with them. With a smile on your face and joy in your heart, and in all sincerity, you can say, indeed it is. Right now, the United States of America is the greatest country in the world. And we've proven it by electing a very large piece of overly ripened, low-hanging fruit as president. So... yeah, like I said, I lived in Berlin. I speak German. I learned German in high school because I thought, well, I might, you know, have to live in Argentina one day. Instead, I wound up in Berlin, you know, performing comedy in English to Germans. We have such a magnificent sense of humor, as we all know. More recently, a new computer program purchased have, in order German better how to speak to learn. Unfortunately, yet my ability English properly to speak completely upgafucked has. But now on my way over here tonight, I got into a little bit of an argument with someone, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, but I did not come here to be humiliated." And he said, "Well, in that case, where do you usually go?" And I said, "Well, thank you for asking. When I feel the urge to be humiliated, I have two primary options. One is I could perform comedy someplace. I mean, that's always a source of potential humiliation. And the other is I could ask somebody out on a date." So comedy and dating, two sources, two scenarios fraught with endless opportunities for humiliation. He said, "Well, can you please compare and contrast this for me?" I said, "By all means." In the case of comedy, no matter how awful my performance is here tonight, I am virtually guaranteed to receive at least a polite round of applause when I finish. Thank you. Now, in the case of dating, I can guarantee you I have never received a round of applause for my performance in a dating situation. I have, however, frequently received hysterical laughter in my performance in dating situations. So it looks like I have my work cut out for me. Yeah, I mean, that's a difficult. I met somebody recently, this girl that just absolutely took my breath away. But, well, that's one way of looking at it. Strictly speaking, she tried to smother me with a pillow. But I try to look on the bright side of things. But another time I met this girl, we struck up a conversation, and she went home with me that night, and well, she turned out to be a real doll. No, seriously, she turned out to be a life-size inflatable plastic doll. And I thought, oh, gee, not again. That's the third time this month. What am I doing wrong? You know, the conversation was extremely one-sided. That should have been a clue. But anyway, well, that relationship didn't last very long. It only lasted about 3 days. And so after 3 days, the air went out of the relationship. It gets worse. Yeah, she left me to go back with her old boyfriend. They patched things up. I did feel a little deflated for a while. But I feel much better now that I'm here with you guys tonight. I'll give a shout out, a wrap up with a couple of things here. A special mention to my ex-girlfriend, Plaintiff. Our relationship was strictly contractual. Every so often I would contract something from her. And then she would contract something from me. Now, this was not at all healthy, but it did keep the penicillin companies in business for now. But I did learn one very important thing from that relationship, which is always use protection. Yeah, always use protection. In fact, I'm wearing a condom right now. Well, you can never be too careful, you know. Comedy is dangerous business. I'll wrap things up with a couple of observations about toilet paper. Now, the Germans do have a very good sense of humor about one thing, and that is giving brand names to toilet paper. So, in Berlin, there's a toilet paper called Danke. Thanks. Well, that's appropriate. We should always thank our toilet. There's another one called Happy End. In English, Happy End. Well, my end is very happy, Danke. However, by far and away, the greatest name, the greatest brand name ever devised for toilet paper by the human mind, it's in Germany, and it's called Ja. Ja toilet paper. But it's not just Ja. It's Ja with an exclamation point. Ja! And the logo's on an angle aiming skyward. Ja! Now, when I'm in the market for toilet paper, by God. That's exactly the kind of product I want. I want a product that shows confidence, enthusiasm, optimism, a real can-do attitude. So when your ass refuses to take 9 for an answer, reach for ya! Thank you very much.